Hey guys, Joe Ciminera here. So, today we're going to get started by talking about raising sponsorships for your project. And short of you being a millionaire or a billionaire or you not having the funds for your project, really the only way for you to raise the funds is to go outside and get some type of sponsorship. Some type of sponsor is going to have to lend you that money in exchange for advertising. Could be a short-term loan payback. I don't recommend that. Anytime you're working with sponsors, make sure it's a deal that they're going to get advertising on your particular project, and you can't guarantee the ROI, return on investment. Always make sure. You never want to be in a situation where you have to pay back that money if things didn't work out right for them. So as far as getting some type of sponsorship, that's what our program is. My program is designed to have you raising funds, whether it be a couple of thousand or a couple of million for your project. And I have a long list of resume that's easily searchable of probably, I don't know, I want to say at least $100 million worth of sponsorship I've raised for all my movies, for my Taste This TV shows, all my cooking shows, my reality shows. Everything I've ever done has revolved around sponsorship. So I've become over the years definitely a master of that art of raising sponsorship, and there's a couple of easy formulas that you need to learn, and most people, not everybody, can grasp onto it and raise some sponsorship funds. When you're dealing with raising sponsorships, if you're a shy person, it's not going to happen. You're going to need to get on the phone with these people. Very rarely are you going to ever have to meet with them. Sometimes you will. Although anytime I've raised sponsorship, it's always been on the phone. Maybe a meeting, but a meeting doesn't necessarily solidify the deal for you if you have my system in place, because you basically answered all the questions at that point. So when you're dealing with sponsors, you can't be lazy. You have to be a go-getter. So this video is definitely, or this program is not for you if you think that you're just going to make one phone call and the money's going to come in. I laugh at people sometimes when, it's usually close people that are around me when they say, hey, I'm doing this project and I need some sponsors. You have any sponsors you could give me? Like, I have them in my back pocket. The sponsorships are earned. They're earned, and you have to go out and get them. So it's not hard to raise sponsorship, but it's not just a phone call away where you're going to suddenly just get a wire transfer in your account for, $50,000 or $100,000. So over the years of falling on my face and failing and really realizing what I needed to close the deal, I've come up with this formula and this system that really works. When you're dealing with sponsorships at any situation or any kind of level, remember that most big companies, especially, companies that I don't want to say the top 500, Fortune 500 companies, but maybe under that as well, they have a marketing budget, and the marketing budget is given by their director. And that marketing budget for that fiscal year has to be spent on something. If they don't spend it, they lose it. Very rarely does that remainder in the marketing budget fall over to the next year. So marketing directors or associate marketing directors need to spend that money, and then they have to allocate and talk about the year before what the return on investment was with that. So they would sit down with their board of directors and say, okay, well, we put $50,000 into this cooking show, but our spike in social media from the time that it aired went up, 15%, so it was a worthwhile investment. Or maybe they put an 800 number, a call to action with some sort of deal connected to that advertisement so they can track it. And they said, okay, we sold, 1.2 million units on that show, so that was a good investment. So this is what they do. They allocate the money, they spend it ahead of time, and then they check out the results the prior year. So that money needs to go somewhere. So the difference between it going to you and going to something else is the way you convince them. That is it. A lot of times you're going to be dealing with somebody who's sitting in another state somewhere. They're behind a cubicle, they're stressed out, they hate their job. You make that connection with them over the phone, and you become somewhat, I don't want to say a friend, but you give them the respect that they deserve, and you convince them that advertising on your project is going to do well for their brand. Then, my friends, you are going to get an unlimited supply, an unlimited funnel, I should say, of money coming to your project. Because once you get in with a marketing director and you can prove that you've had success with the product, you'll always get money from that company, and you'll probably even get more money with that company as time goes on. I've experienced this. I've had sponsors for $2,500 that ended up being $250,000 sponsors per quarter. That's every 4 months. So think about the level of trust that you can make with these individuals. Sponsorship is one of those things where, not a lot of people know where to get the money. They don't know where to get it. They're saying to themselves, it's difficult, maybe I won't do it. Already 90% of the people who say that they want to raise sponsorship is already going to be beaten down by the fact that they're lazy, sitting in their mother's basement, collecting, a paycheck from somewhere else, and they're just not motivated to do it. So there's going to be tons of people out there that say, yeah, I want to make this movie, and I just need to raise the sponsorship. I talk to people that are telling me they're making the same movie for 8 years. I'm like, when are you going to pick up a camera? When are you going to start banging down some doors? When are you going to get some money and film your project? I hate when people say, yeah, I want to do this, and we're doing that, and then it's a year goes by, a year and a half goes by, 2 years goes by the project. Look, whatever the project is, could be funding a restaurant, could be funding a movie, could be funding a cooking show, could be funding a reality show, whatever it is, get the goal in front of you and make the phone call right away. There is a few things we're going to go over, and my program gets really detailed into this and kind of where you can go to get this stuff, but really inexpensive. Like, we give you the links and we really show you where to get this product and put these things together. But I'm going to give you an overall sort of my best tips on getting ready to raise sponsorship. And if you're doing it right, you're doing it quick, you could be up and running within 30 days. You get everything together and you could be sending this thing out. I'm telling you, you'll be closing deals left and right. Most people, not everybody, but most people will do it. So, raising sponsorship. Number one, what do you need? You need a media kit. What's a media kit? Media kit is a packet, usually 3 pages, of what it is that you're selling. What's your project, right? You're going to go call up a company and you're going to say, hey, we're doing this. Let's just take a movie, for instance. We're doing this movie, it's a short film, it's about this and that. It's going to be a really good movie. It's going to be a blockbuster hit. We're going to make millions of dollars off it. We need $50,000 so we can start it. And they're going to say, okay, well, let me get this straight. You don't have a video. I don't even know who you are. There's no paperwork on it. So if you didn't take the time to tell me what it is you want and take the time to put together a good packet, why am I going to give you a thin dime? And that sounds very reasonable, right? This is, of course, people think in their head like they're living in a dream world where they think that, hey, I got this great idea, or I just bought a camera, or I teamed up with this director, and all of a sudden they think that they're going to get the money. It requires a process, and the media kit is a very important tool. It's 3 pages. It outlines everything that's in there. There's some things in the program that we go over that are very important to put in there that are going to get you the interest of the sponsor, right? Now, the media kit could be a PDF. We're going to show you how to design it. We're going to give you examples. We're going to actually show you where you can purchase it if you have no knowledge of this. Look, I'm not a graphic designer. I don't know how to do any of that stuff. Maybe I can copy and paste, but that's it. But if the media kit looks professional, remember what I said early in the program here. I said that these companies have money they have to burn through. If they don't burn through, they lose it. So you're already 50% there because they have to go to their boss and say, well, okay, I put the money here, I put the money there, I put the money here. But most of these marketing directors in that department is only like 2 or 3 people, and they have millions of dollars that they have to put into advertising and hope that they hit the right thing. Maybe it's your project, I don't know. But the media kit is the first thing that goes out to the potential marketing director. Now, where do you send the media kit? Well, what do? Do I call a company up and I ask for the owner? Well, let me tell you something. You're going to get to a $1 billion company. There's no such thing as an owner. There's a board of directors. So, and you're not going to send it to the board of directors. So, in my program, we talk about who specifically gets the media kit. Otherwise, you're going to be wasting 2 months of your time trying to find the right person. And believe me, they will give you that phone tag. Well, you'll go to this department, you'll go to that department, you'll end up in Oshkosh B'gosh somewhere talking to someone, wasting 2 weeks of your time. Meanwhile, the right person you were supposed to speak to is in California. The next is a video. Now, you don't need the video. I will say that the video really helps. And what is the video? Well, look, if you're doing it in Indiegogo, and I talk about that in the program too, all those fundraisers, which I think are a total scam, and I can tell you more about that as time goes on. But, the videos are very important because it gives them it gives the director, whoever's going to push the button to get the money, it really gives them the insight on what the project's about. It also gives it a little bit of validity as well. Like, in other words, let's just take a cooking show, for instance, right? There are many concepts that have come my way that I thought were incredible. You know, people pitched them to me over the years, and the first thing I say is that the video has to get done, because if you can't show a little bit about your idea, and always people are always like, oh, well, you know, I don't want to get into a situation where I'm giving my idea out and I have the most unique idea in the world. The last thing I want to do is put it on a video and send it around. Let me tell you something. Everybody thinks that they got the best idea since sliced bread. And you want to know the reality of it is, if I tell you that I've produced, it's got to be maybe 2,000 or 3,000 cooking shows. And every time I ever sat down, and those are different shows, those are not like with the series. Every time I've ever sat down with somebody or spoke to them, the first thing they always say is, I gotta have you sign this NDA because, you know, we got the best idea and we want to protect it and everything else. So I sign the NDA and I grab my other folders and non-DAs and I pull it out and I say, well, look, this person had the same idea. This person had the same idea. We live in just a world with too many people. So if you think you're the first one with the idea, you better really research it first, and don't let your opportunity pass you by because you're too stubborn to talk about your idea because you feel someone's going to steal it. They'll either steal it or they won't anyway. So the whole purpose with stealing an idea or being the first one is getting your butt off the couch and going and doing and starting the project. That way you're ahead of the game. You're not ahead of the game if you got an idea in your head or on a piece of paper. What's that? That's nothing. And by the time you think you already got that original idea, someone's thought about it somewhere else and probably producing it right now. So you have a good idea, get your butt off the couch, take the first step, get into our program, and start producing what it is you want to do. So video is very important. A video really outlines what the show is going to be about. It talks a little bit about what a particular sponsor can expect. I gave you the example of a cooking show earlier before. Let's just say you're asking XYZ olive oil company for $25,000 to produce a cooking show. They have a video in front of them. If you show them how, or an example of how their product would be featured on the show, you have cut out probably 2 or 3 phone calls and maybe a lot of doubt in between. So by taking this video and making it, and you just get a generic olive oil somewhere, that, you know, just pick one up at the store, make a video. Hi, today we're going to be cooking with XYZ olive oil, and the reason why I use this olive oil is because it's the first cold pressed olive oil. It's the best out there. And if you want to learn more about this company, go to xyz.com and click on the link, purchase it, and let me know what you think about it. That's an example of product placement on that video. You have just shown that marketing director what they can expect from getting a video from you or getting the product or them signing on board with your project. Second thing we're going to talk about, or I should say the third, is going to be social media. So let's just backtrack again. We got the media kit. The media kit is going to explain what everybody should be reading about it. It's going to outline. It's going to give a basic outline. If you want to step up to that media kit, put the URL to the video in the media kit as well, right? This video is going to show how the product is used. Very important, right? Don't look. We live in a world today which is pretty incredible. I mean, the video, the communication, the know-how to edit stuff is just, you know, when I started in this business a long time ago, you know, with Julia Child on television, you know, we were VCRs and, you know, mini betas was still out there, and it was just, you know, not everybody knew editing, not everybody had a camera, but everybody's got cameras on their phone now, so there's no excuse why you can't make a video. Have your friend hold the camera. I mean, you know, go look at these free online programs to edit and make yourself a video. So your excuse to not put the video in the media kit is just totally ridiculous, because I'm telling you, we'll give you that much more a step up. Social media. Now, social media goes along with the video. You have this video, and you're convincing a sponsor that they should come on board with the product. We can be talking about movies, we can be talking about reality shows, we can talk about cooking shows, we can talk about anything, but we're on the topic of cooking shows, so let's just talk about that. The cooking show video has got that XYZ olive oil in it. Now you've made this video public. Now, you should already have a following. What if you don't have a following? Well, how are you going to convince a company to give you money for this product if it doesn't have a little gravitas behind it? What I mean is some views, some shares, some likes, some subscribes. It doesn't have to be much, but don't send them a video with no views on there. My program is going to show you how to get the views, so don't worry about that. But don't go ahead and put a link in there and they click on it and they see 10 views. You are done. You're better off making this video private, not having any views. However, the social media isn't going to give you the gravitas and the power to get you this money. So by having some videos, shares, some comments, my program goes all over this. It's a big package deal. It goes over every single step-by-step process. So you get your social media, you got the funds. Now the social media is going to be basically telling the sponsor, it's going to be showing the sponsor that what it is you're doing has a little weight attached to it. There's interest. So a sponsor might be saying to themselves, well, really not distributed it yet on a large platform, right? This is one video, this is a cooking show. The guy's got 10,000, the girl's got 10,000 views. It's got some likes, some shares, I like it. Looks good. Let's learn a little bit more about it. So the social media component is a very important tool here. And sharing this with friends and family to get a few hundred, if you're even that lucky, with likes and views, isn't going to do it. So this program is designed to put this package to where so far you hand in the media kit, the URL, there's going to be some social media attached to this thing. There's going to be some gravitas behind it. There's going to be some legs behind it. Next, sales funnel. If you think that you're going to be lucky calling up 1 or 2 sponsors and getting the money ready by. So on average, when you send out 200 and 500 emails a week, on average, you're going to get back 5% of that. So that's the general rule, maybe even less. So my program is a numbers game because I know better. And I'm not going to sit here and throw egg in your face and tell you this program, after you make 1 or 2 phone calls, is going to get money. That's not how the world works. That's not how this system works. And that's not how I'm able to raise millions of dollars because I just got lucky with a couple of phone calls. There's a system and there's calls. You have to make some calls. Who's going to make these calls? Who's going to send these emails out? Well, probably not you, right? Because you have a part-time job, or you have a full-time job, or you have a family. You just don't have the time to do it. Where's the time going to come for me to target all of these marketing people? How's it going to happen? Well, you got to create some sort of a sales funnel with cheap salespeople. That's it. I'm going to show you how to get people to work for you where you don't have to pay them anything, just commission. I'm going to show you where you can find people for pennies on the dollar to send hundreds of emails out a day to companies of your targeting. So now you got to be going after these companies here with the sales funnel, with the sales people, and while you're sleeping at night, your leads are going to be coming in. There's going to be a general email that's sent out. The interested parties will respond, and you will respond to all the serious ones. That's when your time is going to be valuable because you've cut out 50% of the hard legwork, which is finding these companies, sending the email, and having it come back to you, right? So, and of course, the good follow-up means that you're going to take our sales pitch that we're going to create for you in the program, and you're going to read off that sales pitch. And there's going to be 10 other questions or so that are going to be rebuttals, and they're always the same questions, no matter who I speak to. Anytime I've ever raised sponsorship, I call up a company. And out of the 10 questions, at least 2 of those are on the first phone call. Okay, hold on, I'm going to get with my director and we'll call you back. Let's schedule a call on Thursday. Well, how are we going to schedule a call on Thursday? Well, you need a conference call. You need a conference line. You got to look professional. The program puts this together. It shows you how to be successful with this. Again, they're going to go over those questions, and it's always the same questions. It's amazing. It's out of the 10, it's always it's either this question, maybe it's number 8, maybe it's number 7, but they always ask the same questions. Why? Because we hit the questions that these large companies want to ask to get a return on their investment. Okay? What is this program good for? Well, maybe I'm only doing a fundraiser for my church, trying to raise $2,500. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you're raising funds for. Look, I can tell you that obviously, you know, if you're raising money for something that's a little out there, you know, it's gonna lessen your chances of who you're gonna be able to target. But let's say you're doing a fundraiser for a charitable organization such as somebody who's sick, or you're raising money to buy a wheelchair or something like that. Those are good for local businesses, and the same system here, the same system. You know, you could probably go banging door to door, get $250 here, $250 there. With this system, it all comes in. It comes in quick, and it comes in on the volume. You have to think volume. There's going to be so many no's that are going to come your way, and you have to be careful. You have to accept that you're going to get a lot of no's and some yeses. But wouldn't you want to have a program designed to set you up for success? This is not easy stuff. This has taken me years of doing. I mean, I've been raising sponsorships for the last 20 years, hardcore. There isn't a major, especially food companies, there isn't a food company that hasn't worked with me at some point in time. I can tell you every single one of them. And even the Fortune 500 companies for like my movies that I've produced, where, you know, we'll hold a beverage product, or we'll do product placement in movies, or, you know, we'll drive a car on set, or we'll show the outside of a store. You know, these are all product placement. And yeah, you know, they have companies that do this that you can hire to do. It's ridiculous what you have to pay them. They usually never come through on time. Just do it yourself. That's it. Grab the system and do it. Don't rely on anyone. I'm going to keep saying this through the program because it's so important. Don't rely on anyone to raise sponsorship money for you. Number one, they're not going to be as passionate as you are. That's number one. Number two, they're not going to have the drive that you have. And number three, nobody's going to be able to explain your product better than you. So keep those in mind. You know, I had this young filmmaker, young kid, to tell you a quick story. He's from Beverly Hills. Really energetic kid. Has a great idea for a horror film. And he's in our program. And when he first got into the program, you know, I was talking to him through our live chat system that we had. And I'm telling you that he followed everything to the T. He was able to raise, not $50,000 was his threshold. That's what he needed to raise to complete the project. He actually landed a sponsor who's a liquor company that said to him, if you use our liquor 3 times, it was a cowboy shoot. It was like a horror cowboy shoot. They were filming it in Arizona. They said, if you use our liquor 3 times in the show, we'll give you $75,000. Why? Because this kid had one of the best media kits I've ever seen. He put it together. We gave him the tools, and he really took it a step up. He took it a step up. He wanted to be a step above the rest. He wanted to succeed. He wanted to make an impact, and he did. He took that media kit, man. It was 4 pages. It didn't only have 1 video link. It had 5 video links in there with the different actors and testimonials of the actors and why the investors should get involved with the product. He showed passion for his project. And if you show passion for your project, then that gives credibility to the marketing director when he's looking at your stuff. If you're not excited about your product, why are they going to be excited? So you need to sell yourself with these things. Sponsorship just doesn't grow on trees. So this young kid was able to raise $25,000 over what he wanted to do. Now look, people have raised millions of dollars with this system, so I'm just giving a low kind of standard here because out of all these film festivals that I've gone, I've won over 290 film festivals with all of my films. Now, when I go to these film festivals, I meet a lot of young people that come up to me. Most of the time, their budget is $25,000, $50,000 is kind of high for an indie film. You know, for a young guy coming out of, or a young student coming out of film school. You know, I met a makeup artist one time too who used the system as well. She's an FX artist. She needed some money to open up her studio. Right, her studio did FX. She had hands of gold. She really does makeup really well, FX makeup too. She needed money for a studio. She needed some backing for some projects. You know, she needed the money for inventory so that she could make the inventory because a lot of these films pay out 60 and 90 days. So she was able to raise the money through the system as well. So the system is designed for you to raise sponsorship dollars. I never want to hear that word loan from the bank. No. Only fools start a business on a loan. Don't put yourself in debt when you have companies out there which will give you the money in exchange for the exposure. Remember, There is money with these big companies. There's money with every company, not the small ones, but the big ones. They have to use the marketing dollars. So if you know that and I'm not talking about these government programs too, that's all scam too. If you know that there's money to be made from all these companies out there, why in the world would you sign up and get a loan and be charged an interest and probably never pay that damn loan back? Go into debt, go into bankruptcy, ruin your credit and everything else. This system is designed for you to get this money. It's an even exchange. It's a handshake. I will give you this money to promote my product on your show. Look at all the YouTube influencers out there, right? Eventually you get so good, you get so branded, these companies come to you. So create a brand, create power behind the brand so that you can have unlimited amounts of success, unlimited amount of funnel materials as well. Right? I mean, my marketing director is standing there right now. I mean, have we ever failed with this system? I mean, he's shaking his head. We've been using this system for years. Like the first 5 years we were all over the place. We had no idea what we were doing. But now we've honed it down to exactly what you need. And does it matter where you are in this world? This system works everywhere. Closing deals in China, closing deals in Japan, Russia, UK, USA, Hawaii, Australia, everywhere around the map. If you can show a company that there is going to be success from advertising in your project, you're going to get the money. And if you do show them after the fact that they paid you and whatever it is your project is finished, they will come back again. So now let me get this straight. You have the opportunity to create an unlimited amount of revenue through this system here, through our system that we designed. We're going to show you how to raise the sponsorship dollars so that you can pay for your next project without going for a loan, without borrowing the money from anybody, without looking like a fool when you can't pay them back, or if that does happen. Sponsorship, you're going to give them the advertising in exchange for the money. You're going to create a partnership that's going to last a lifetime. Don't wait, sign up for this program. Let's get started with raising the sponsorship money for your next project.